on with another one. As we take a look, it's Morphling, Underlord, Rubik, Ember, Skywrath here. And that's going to be up against the Shadow Shaman, Drow, Techies, Enigma, and Medusa. So the weird thing is with the replays and how old they are, buildings that are not available to be hit or haven't been hit yet, I think stay up in a weird, odd position. It's, you know, it's based on, like, because they were moved at some point or repositioned. Like, now this tower, I believe, is, like, here. So it's really weird to see towers still moving about. But we'll see how this game goes for the side of the Radiant. I kind of like their lockdown. Telekinesis is before Arcane Supremacy with Null Field here on the Rubik. So you've got the Searing Chains, the Telekinesis, Pit of Malice, some Silence, some Slows here, Adaptive Strike. And then, I guess for the Dire, it's another Techies game. How many of these Techies games have I done? I feel like every single game I do is a Techies game. Like, everybody saw it and it was like, I'm going to request a game. Haha, fuck you. I'm going to send you Techies. I mean, that's fair. You're allowed to do that. No harm. No harm done to me, but, you know, I'll remember that in the future. If you ever want to request another game and I realize it's you and you sent in a Techies game, I might just say no. Not really, though. I'd probably say yes anyway. Just stop requesting Techies games. This is probably like the 5th one in a row that I've done. That's why it takes me so... I gotta get some confidence here to do a Techies game. This is without the change to marksmanship, I believe. Because this game is from who knows how long ago at this point. As this has been quite a slow process. Look at this, Techies. You're getting your ass handed to you. You can't even keep up. Oh, and as I say that, it's just the Techies deny. Doesn't get the kill onto the Rubik. You go after the Enigma for a moment. Blast Off's going to be on cooldown for another 25 seconds. But I just got to keep myself in form. Got to keep myself in shape. When I feel myself getting a little rusty, I do come back to these request games. So it's not a big deal. I know things aren't exactly the same as they used to be. And maybe I'll get an ability wrong here or there, which I doubt I will. But, you know, it happens. But Enigma with the Techies having the demonic conversion should be a lane winner here. Usually, it's what we used to see back with that sacrifice too, is on Lich, when we used to just see you take away a creep and the game gets a little bit easier for the laning phase of the people up against people with the Lich or the Enigma. But as I say that, they've got the rotation coming over. It's trialing over in the bottom lane. They get first blood on the Enigma. Techie's not even close. He's level 2, so he's going to be placing some mines. We'll see if he plays Minesweeper Techies or aggressive Techies. To me, I don't mind an aggressive Techies. I think if you have the balls to play a Techies aggressively, then more power to you, and I appreciate your work. But if you play Minesweeper Techies, which is where you just go around the map, placing mines, not doing much else, and then, I don't know, my respect for you is little. I'm definitely on the hype train of Techies should be removed from the game, but that's a conversation for another time. So 1-0 so far for the Radiant as we come into this one. See the Underlord up against the Drow. They're both level 3 at the moment. For the most part, this Drow is getting a solo lane with the Shadow Shaman coming over to pull. He's just doing what he can. He hasn't stacked anything, but he's staying away from the Drow, giving that solo experience, getting the Drow to about to be level 4. There it is. And ahead of the Underlord, who's had solo experience the entire time, just dealing with a little bit of harassment coming in from the Shadow Shaman here or there. And we get a pause from the Medusa. I don't know. There it is. There's the Medusa DC, and there's the pause on top of it. I wish replays were definitely smart enough to skip pauses. But unfortunately, that's just not the case. And I don't want to skip around. It usually bugs out the replay. And the Medusa comes right back. So a quicker on pause than a game in China, as the Shadow Shaman does die to the Underlord, which I should have seen during that pause. But Underlord getting the kill. He's going into that wand. And he'll also have a salve shipped out to him as he wants to get back to full health, use that soul ring efficiently, continue to farm here over top, and get those last hits up as he's sitting behind the Drow for the moment. And again, it's for the most part a 1v1 lane with the Shadow Shaman, who was on the other side. But they get the Searing Chains coming out. There's the Firestorm. Shadow Shaman, you don't want to stand there too long. It's a haste on the Ember. They really are trying to go for the Shadow Shaman, but Underlord realistically just getting into the way. And Ember unable to find a kill over top. Two heroes sitting low. Courier finally comes in. Passes the wand. Finished off. Gets the salve out. Oh boy, you need to be careful because you are probably going to get hit by an Ether Shock to stop that. That's unfortunate. Telekinesis comes out, looking at the Enigma. He's getting low. Waveform in. One more shot from the Skywrath Mage. Another kill here. Bottom with Techie's unable to do anything. In fact, eating a lot of harassment. As Firestorm comes through onto the Drow. Level 5, not going to go down. Maybe this Techies wants to feel the effects of Drow. Left out. Usually a Techie's game is not involved with a Drow Ranger. And you want to feel good about yourself and, you know, do what you can. Giving up some free gold here to the Morphling is definitely not what you want to be doing. And, oh. Alright. Sure.
Radiant are scanning.
If that's what, floats your boat. As Underlord gets another kill on the Shadow Shaman. So 4-0 early on. I mean, the Techies isn't really doing much of anything. They're going to spot this Enigma again. Oh, boy. This is a problem. Fade Bolt, Telekinesis. Malphus is through, but that's not going to keep him alive. Morphling gets the kill. Now they're just feeding over bottom. Again, it's not really looking good for the Dire. And I know the timings on these games. I have it written out on my my Google Drive as to how long these games are. And this did show that this was a game that's going to be over an hour. And then you see there's a Techies in this replay, and things are they're starting to add up. Dire goes down by a little bit. Techie starts to mind sweep. I have a feeling that's the direction we're going in. Not that I have looked at the winner. I try to avoid looking up at that area. I type in the replay and then I just press to watch. But again, they go over towards bottom looking for the Underlord. He'll now place a mine there, make it so if he wants to escape, it's going to be a touch harder. Underlord, he's alright at level 6. Goes one into the Pit of Malice. Shadow Shaman coming around. They'll look for the kill. The damage is pretty heavy on the Drow, but they've got the Shackle. They'll have the Blast off. This will be a kill here for the Techies despite denying himself. And now the Remnant over. This should at least be another one for the Radiant. Oh, Jesus. Taking a lot of damage from that mine is this Skywrath Mage. That is, again, always just very rough to deal with, is those mines when you're a weak support like the Skywrath Mage.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
You have the things of eternity. Double damage.
So
I'll take that.
that's 6-1. They finally got a kill here. It was onto the Underlord. It's still only less than 1,000 net worth lead for the Radiant side. They looked like they were farming relatively well, but Medusa doing a good job over mid. There's an official cast for EPG versus Ninjas in Pajamas. I don't need to be covering it. Ooh, Techies again taking a lot of damage over top. Underlord going down. That's again with the help of the Shadow Shaman. Coming through with Blast Off. A lot of things here that I like for the Dire. Like, you've got Shackles into a Blast Off with a Mine, most likely. If you could definitely pull off both. There's definitely a long enough duration there. There's Medusa getting low over mid. The silence comes out. They've got the telekinesis on top of that. Remnant. Still not enough damage. Arcane Bolt one more time. And Skywrath will get the kill. 7-3 in favor of the Radiant. And Medusa top of the net worth. A good target for the Radiant side to take out. Ember, he's level 8. Rubik sitting level 5. That definitely can make this game long. Is if Rubik gets 6, steals mines, and then just places his own. That would be havoc all over the map. Oh boy. Yeah, once you get hit by that mine, you may not want to walk over. They'll get the kill onto the Drow, though, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Meanwhile, bottom Morphling got a tower. That's a hard play to commit to, going from full health to 150 left. It's hard to want to just move forward when you take that kind of damage. Bottom, Enigma, Adaptive Strike. He gets run down by this Morphling who's 2 levels ahead, and now they're starting to take a net worth lead here. Again, Techie's just continuing to mine the entire map where he can, and his mines have done well. But, oh, Morphling. Shackles come out. He'll have wave form, but the silence is there with the blast off. The mine's placed down. The thing is, I think you gotta play that a little differently. If you're gonna make a move like that, I think it's running, mine first, then blast off. Try to be in unison with your Shadow Shaman, not a couple seconds behind. Ether Shock level 3 getting stolen. They do spot the Ember and the Rubik. I believe that had seen the Skywrath Mage as well. They've got the telekinesis with the silence. Again, I don't know. You have vision. You have the vision right there. There's no reason to be in front as the Shadow Shaman. You can play that with the, with the intel you've got. Ooh, retired item in the game. As Morphling, Black Hole comes out. They'll get the kill. That's with Blast Off one more time. Looked like the Drow was going to get killed over top, but no Pit of Malice used as it was on cooldown. Gust comes out, going high over. Whoa. Actually misses both skills, but I think the Firestorm might have ticked a little bit. Looked like he had missed both kills. Alright, both skills, not kills. How's this Enigma doing? Going into the Midas, so definitely looking long-term with the techies. Not a horrible game plan. You've got a long late-game hero here in the Medusa.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
So 11 of 4 right now. 2,000 net worth, 3,000 net worth lead with that tower going down. Underlord just continuing to push over top, farm as much as he can, going into the Crimson Guard. Morphling with the Lincolns first, so hyper defensive for the Morphling. They have 2 AoE silences, so not really. I don't know. I don't know how much Lincoln's is gonna be a game changer here. Ooh, the Malefist! That was perfect! Oh. Techies, man. It's a 5 times killing spree going his way. Making it look easy. Alright, I respect it with the Enigma. It is a dirty combination. Remnant over. They'll chase onto the Shadow Shaman, who's able to escape the Malefist onto the Ember. So Enigma running back, 80 seconds till Black Hole, so he's unable to pull that off, and they'll kill the mine. Throw another one down. And this one will not explode either. So they're just throwing it down, and it was almost as a deterrent. And it worked. Did its job. They didn't chase. Everything was okay. This Pit of Malice comes out, but they've got the Shackle. Shadow Shaman getting rooted. And Malefist comes through. They've got the rest of the team, but a nice 3-man gust. 5 heroes now here for the Dire if they want to continue to pressure on this. The Mystic Flare drops in, and the Remnant gets a double kill for the Ember. Mystic Snake now stolen by the Rubik. That could actually do a lot for them. Pressure with that, with the Rubik. Just throw that Mystic Snake out. It'll chunk these heroes on the Dire side, especially with it being level 4. So you should just throw it every opportunity you've got. It's 11-second cooldown. The Mana Steel's nice. You've got Arcane Boots on top of that. I say just pressure. 8 assists of the 13 kills that they have is with the Rubik. So. It does go down. Stealing the Ether Shock again. They had the vision. Throw an Adaptive Strike and a Waveform. You get that silence out onto the Medusa. Not really much you could do. Black Hole, not enough mana for that at the moment. Just a little bit short, but even then. Invisibility. We'll see what he's going to do here as he's got the Midas and still wants the Blink. Not going into the BKB yet. Over mid, Searing Chains comes through. Drow trying to hit away at this Ember, who's silenced. Already got the Flame Guard out, so not going to matter. Shadow Shaman goes down. Again, this is not with vision, but once they took away that vision, they had a relative idea to where they were. And they were still pressuring bottom. Radiant 3 are, well, now no longer, as Medusa gets back into the top 3 in terms of net worth. The Mask of Madness going into the Dragonlance. We'll see what comes after for the Medusa. But top of the net worth is this Morphling, and
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Morphling still going for the Lincolns. I don't think it's relative to this game. Or not relative, but worth this early. Shackles, Hex. That's what it blocks.
Dire's middle tower is
Malefist.
under attack.
But again, there's 2 AoE silences in Blast Off as well as Gust. Then you've got the Black Hole. Like, your Lincolns doesn't stop a Black Hole. I don't know. I don't exactly think the build is too crazy. They've got the Blink now onto the Enigma. In terms of what can stop this, there is quite a bit here. Look over at the Techies. Ether Shot comes in with the Blast Off, so he'll be easily dispatched by the Ember Spirit. And Shackle under the tower. Oh, silence! Was not silenced for a moment. Didn't have Sleight of Fist there, and they'll use the Black Hole onto just the Rubik. I don't know if I exactly think that that's worth it. Putting such a big cooldown ult on, on cooldown.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
End up getting the Morphling over bottom.
Is hidden in these woods.
Start to push top a little bit, but over mid we take a look. They're still trying to get this mid tier 1,
Dire's
sitting a
middle
little bit
tower is
low.
under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Mine at last. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
17 to 9. You've got this Guardian Greaves and the mech being built here. Lincoln's gets finished off for the Morphling. He'll be going into the Manta as well as the E-Blade. We'll see which one he goes for first. Maelstrom and the Radiance being built for the Ember. Got Yules on the Techies. Shadowblade here on the Drow. Rod of Atos with the Skywrath Mage, or built on the Skywrath Mage. So good lockdown for the Radiant side, at least for now.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I think they do have to pressure pretty heavily, make sure that the Techies can't
Dire's
find
top
himself
tower has fallen.
grounding or stymieing this push potential coming in from the Radiant.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Blastoff gets used over mid, but there's Telekinesis with the Fable coming out. He'll steal Blastoff, but is that really worth it? And these mines are going to pop on the Underlord, or at least... Ooh, yeah, turning around is not going to help you out. The Blastoff's not even going to end up hurting this Techies in terms of him dying, and right into the hands of this Drow. Rubik is dead. Goes right into the hands of the Drow, ends up getting blasted by right clicks. Yules comes out on the Skywrath Mage.
Radiant's bottom
Doesn't have mana for the Blastoff, and now the waveform over. The Rod of Atos comes through. That hits the Drow. They'll get the kill there. Now chasing this Techies might not be the wisest idea, as Morphling goes down, and again, this Techies just toying with them. Well, Soul Ring so he could blast off. And 2 for 2 here. Although really it was a deny, so it wasn't exactly 2 for 2. Enigma now going into the BKB. I think this is a wise choice. Blink BKB build. Nothing, doesn't... I don't think he needs the utility just yet. Ags is going to be picked up by the Techies, or built by the Techies. You've got Glimmer Cape next for the Shadow Shaman. Medusa, meanwhile, has the Dragonlance going into a Lincoln's of his own, which I think is a lot more worth it on the Medusa right now than it was on the Morphling, who's still trying to build into either the E-Blade or the Manta. They'll try to throw down this green mine, won't get it. Rod of Atos comes in, but the Black Hole will be on to 2. Blastoff comes through, that's denying him, doing a lot of damage onto the Underlord to get the kill. The Ether Shock through onto the Skywrath Mage, and that's 2 kills for them. And then, on top of that, the Drow comes in and gets another kill onto the Rubik. So Dire starting to pull back in terms of net worth. Medusa getting a lot going into this Lincoln's, as I've said a couple times before, and being made a lot of space.
Never refuse gold given. H2 owned.
One thing here, though, for the Radiant side is this Ember building, this Radiance. I think it's a decent build, but I'd like to see them move a little bit quicker as 5, push these lanes down, make it a little bit harder for the Dire to farm. I'd like to see more warding offensively, and their only ward right now is a Sentry here, showing up as a regular ward on the map, but they need vision here in this jungle area. I'd like to see them get some vision here around the Ancients, because you know Medusa's sitting back in her own jungle and farming. So I haven't seen the Medusa show too much in the lanes. And even so, even if you have seen the Medusa in these lanes, it's been not too far of a push out from the Medusa. So if you're able to get offensive wards, take these fights, or gank the Medusa, slow down the farm, and then continue to push off said kills, then you should be able to beat the Dire in a relatively nice time. And that's what you need to do. I mean, as for the Dire, just sit back. Sit back, farm, let your techies do what they need to do. Maybe take a team fight every time you've got Black Hole available. Even that's not 100% a necessity. As the smoke comes out from the Skywrath Mage as well as the Rubik. But this isn't exactly formulated into a plan. It's two supports that have smoked up. You really got to make it worth it, and unfortunately, by your bounty runes is the Drow. Dust comes out on two of them. The Rod of Atos into the Mystic Flare. Pit of Malice locks down again. There's the Remnant over. They'll get the Fable and the kill. The reaction coming in from the Dire is just not quick enough, and the Mystic Snake's going to follow, but this is in the mine, so you have to be careful. How far are you willing to just go in, as the Flame Guard will keep Ember pretty much safe. The Pit of Malice lands on a 3. There's the Stone Gaze. Enigma has Black Hole in just a second, and oh, BKB, Black Hole on the 2, but it's immediately stolen and now turned right back on him. So that's just not a good Black Hole. They kill the Ember because he's by himself for some reason, as the Enigma dies. But this is a 3-for-1 with Black Hole stolen. We'll see how long the Rubik's able to hold on to it, if he holds on to it for another go-through. And if they get... Oh, yeah, they will get this Medusa. Techies gets 2 there, and now the Black Hole is no longer on the Rubik. But that's just... That could have been so much better for the Radiant. And from the Dire, it looked very discombobulated. The Black Hole came in, and the Dire were just getting forced back. So what's your Black Hole really worth, especially when you give it up to the Rubik, and he's just able to kill you with his own? Every time they hear this mine, they keep backing off and then like making the mistake of backing off and then getting hit by a mine. I think I've seen that 20 times at least right now. Drow's got this double damage. Has to start with the Gust. Actually comes out of the Shadow Blade with a right click. No Remnant set up, it seems like, for this Ember, so he was unable to get out of that one. Glimmercave comes in, they'll find the Dust. That's through onto the Shadow Shaman. They'll see a mine there. That hits onto the Rubik. Drow trying to get away, but 4 heroes here, so it's not getting any easier. They'll take the Drow out. They've already lost 2. Shackles come in with the Serpent Wards. The Silence is out, and they've got the damage from the Enigma on top of this. Ooh, look at Close, trying to run. Ether Shot comes in to finish him off. And now the wave form forward to kill the Shadow Shaman. Meanwhile, Medusa comes in, gets the Skywrath Mage. 4 heroes dead on the Radiant side for 3 on the Dire. So 1,000 net worth lead for the Dire, as they were sitting down 5,000 a little bit earlier in this game. As you can see, close to 6,000, but not getting there. And experience also in their favor too. So the later this game goes, I think the Techies is really going to help the Medusa get in the late game, find all the farm that Medusa wants, because you can't really pressure Techies too heavily if he's got the map mined in the right way. And they've got the BKB as well as the Blink on the Enigma, so taking a fight is tough when you've got the omnipresence of the Black Hole on. Atos comes out. They'll get the kill on the Drow once again. Drow's been dying quite a bit. This has definitely not been the way Drow is wanted to play this game out. Shadowblade has the Yasha going into a man style of her own, but dying 8 times already. So is the techies, but Medusa 2 and 3, not really amazing in terms of KDA, but net worth top, you know, not a big deal. Morphling decides to go for the E-Blade, going into the Ghost Scepter first. And the Hurricane Pike gets finished by the Medusa, so next up is the Scotty. Again, you got 2 weak supports here. It's hard for Rubik and Skyref to want to just roam around the map. They do have Black Hole, but Maleficus comes in. The silence is through, at least for a moment. Now the Pit of Malice onto the Enigma. He's going to have to get back as the BKB gets popped, trying to turn it. Black Hole hits onto the Ember. Where's your follow-up? And ooh, there it is. Line does enough damage. Looks like it might not be in time. The Dark Rift was just a little bit short. Level 3 Dark Rift as well, so it's only a 4-second delay. Luckily, the Dire sprung into action as quickly as they did, because it looked like they were going to miss the combo, or at least the lockdown enough to get the kill. Morphlings picked up the E-Blade. Medusa, again, still farming the jungle. No offensive wards here from the Radiant. I guess those aren't showing up as wards, so this one here, but I'd like to see another one get a little bit more vision. And if they're going to use that, if they're going to have that ward there, use that to pressure the Medusa. Moving over mid, mines placed down by the techies, and they'll try to push back these Radiant pushes coming in. Yeah, I don't know about that. Blowing the mines a little bit early. Just seems so lackadaisical from the Radiant side. They're letting Medusa just farm up as much as he wants. So when you do that, are you prepared to fight Medusa, you know, a full-fledged Medusa? They've taken care of the Drow. The techies will make this game last a little bit longer. So you gotta think that you're definitely starting to come into the late game. Enigma is going to have Blink Black Hole ready with the BKB, but it's at 8 seconds, so the longer the game goes, and the less effective that'll be. But I think not putting on enough pressure, you're giving up a lot here.
Fortune's change.
Haste.
Techies gets a kill on the Rubik. Another kill for him. He's got his Ags ready to go. Medusa's sitting about 1,200 gold away from getting this this Scotty ready. And wait for him forward. Pit of Malice comes in with the E-Blade. BKB's going to be popped. Now they don't have BKB for the Enigma. It'll be down to 7 seconds next. So they gotta wait at least a minute to want to go in with the Blink. BKB Black Hole, which allows the Radiant to put on pressure to the bottom lane. And all of a sudden, Drow kills the Ember. They look over the Enigma once again. He silenced up. The Stone Gaze comes out. Lincoln's going to be popped here on the Morphling, who needs to waveform away, almost going into these mines. Techie will deny himself. Shadow Shaman gets taken out. They've got the stun. And the right click's coming through from the Drow. If he goes on the high ground, he is in trouble. And yeah, that'll do it. Just baiting him into that spot. It's exactly what they want.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Dark Rift away. They get the bottom tier 2, but giving up a lot to the Dire side once again. And they still have Black Hole.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So the game's still even about 35 minutes in. Medusa sitting at the top of the net worth, but the other Dire heroes are falling a little bit behind, which is something that the Dire need to take care of. The Medusa won't be able to hold this game by himself. Ember taken out of that fight very quickly. Again, Drow over bottom gets the gust out and the damage through on the Ember. Doing a lot more. We're seeing oh, that's a buyback for a potential kill, but Shadow Blade in 3. You better make sure you get this. There's the man to use. Gust comes down the E-Blade. They'll find the kill. But that's a buyback used. Again, I'm not too sure that's entirely worth it.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, top Black Hole comes in onto the Underlord. And Chainmail gets used with Pit of Malice, the Dark Rift attempt, and he's gone. He pressures the tier 3 over top, trying to rat this game a little bit. Medusa's DC'd again. Let's see if we get another pause. There it is. And there's the immediate reconnect.
My waters rise.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Double damage.
And Pit of Malice comes out with the Stone Gaze. Lynx is going to be popped on the Medusa. Mystic Flare on top of the Enigma. They'll get the kill. Now they'll look for more. As Shadow Shaman's here, but turning into the Ember will be the Morphling. And he throws Sleight of Fist with Searing Chains going out. They'll look for the damage E-Blade Lincolns. That'll keep Medusa alive. Backing off, but a lot of pressure from the Radiant. Another waveform forward. Tier 3 getting chipped here. And they've got the Sleight of Fist Searing Chains onto 2. There's the Remnant to get the kill onto the Drow. Looking for the Techies. Silence comes in. They'll take the tier 3. They'll look for the set of racks. The buyback comes from the Techies. Pit of Malice onto 2. Serpent Ward's placed in a desperate defense. Morphling taking a lot of damage. Has to be careful. Again, the Pit of Malice comes out to lock in the Shadow Shaman. They'll look for the kill onto the Rubik, who tries to run. Mystic Snake right on top. Rod of Atos, Mystic Flare on the Medusa, not doing much. The Glimmer Cape. Meanwhile, Techies gets a kill onto the Ember with Mines. So Dark Rift trying to get the kill. Will be stunned by the Shackles, and again, able to Dark Rift away. So 31 and 28. As Medusa does have the Scotty going into the boots of travel. Glimmer Cape for the Enigma. Let's see. Drow Ranger going into the BKB. I think BKBs are going to be very important for the Dire side. Becky spots the Underlord. They'll TP over the Medusa. Rubik comes in as well. And now there's the stun on it too. They've got the Shackles as well as the Gust. That's going to hit both the Skywrath Mage as well as the Rubik. They'll find the Hex. They'll get the kill. Stonegaze comes out. It'll only be a kill onto the Rubik. Another kill there for the Dire, but at least for right now, the Dire didn't find much out of that, and the Radiant are able to just farm up, continue to try and farm up, and find another strategy. Oh, Techie's getting spotted. He's killed by the Underlord. They'll get a kill there and take the Techies out for 80 seconds. That'll slow down the mining process. As Black Hole... that was a illusion. They must have used that on... And again, Mine's coming out to kill the Morphling. It's hard to just stay on these players to make sure that they don't die. Oh, more Mines coming out, almost killing the Rubik. Oh, dead. Oh, God. Yeah, that is pretty tough. And I think they just blew up more mines, but that might have just been a miss or a timer running out. And now they'll look for... I just don't think they have the damage. The Underlord's super tanky at the moment. He's hard to kill. They just don't have the damage to kill the Underlord. They'll get the kill onto the Skywrath Mage. That's Medusa going in pretty far to get that, considering where they've been farming the entire time. Roche about half health. Double damage for the Medusa. Come on, Roche. Get back in the pit so we can take this. And it should be a relatively quick Roche. Into the hands of the Medusa, so again, gets harder and harder to fight it into the Dire. Just the one thing here is for the Radiant, you've got an Underlord with almost 4,000 health. very hard to kill, and he should be the frontliner for you. Looks like he's doing what he can to mine the map. He's going into an Octarine core. And Medusa going for a Daedalus. Has the Aegis, so we'll see if he holds buyback or not. He's got 550 surplus. Has enough for the Daedalus in full. Just needs to go over to the secret shop and pick up this Demon Edge. But it looks like, for now, Medusa's holding buyback. Level 25. Split Shot uses modifiers. You've got Enigma, level 22. Cooldown reduction, which is always nice. And the evasion here for the Drow. And again, these illusions. We'll take out one mine. Not the worst thing for techies. Who's level 20 with 150 gold per minute, which is going to bump up that, those items for the techies. Get the Octarine core. Get the next item here, which could be a Hex.
That should help.
Global concussive shot, which is more just a pain in the ass than anything. Truthfully, not a huge fan of it. I like the Ancient Seal Magic Resistance reduction. Again, you're hitting into an Underlord who has 4,000 health. What can you do there?
Dire's top shrine is under attack.
It's a tough strategy to want to go in on that Underlord. I don't think you are strong enough to really even make a move like that. And now the Morphling gets the kill onto the Drow. That is Drow going down after trying to get the Underlord. Dead for 80 seconds. So Radiant, they might be able to pressure. So the push over top, they took the mid-tier 3. They'll go for the top lane, which is actually one of the least warded lanes. And let's see what they're able to do. Underlord, Blade Mail. Still pretty tanky, looking for the Pit of Malice. Still not buying out on the Daedalus is this Medusa. They've stolen the Hex. There is the Yules onto this Techies to try and get the kill. Stunned up for a moment is the Morphling. The split shot coming out from the Medusa, but 3 heroes are already dead with the buyback coming out for the Techies as well as the Shadow Charm. The Black Hole hits on 2 of these heroes. They'll also get the Stone Gaze to stone up the Skywrath, but is it going to be enough? They kill off the Enigma. They pop the first life for the Medusa. Drow up in 5. The Blast Off comes in to silence up 2. And now the Pit of Malice on top of that. That'll lock in 2 of these heroes as well. Underlord staying in a little bit too long, and now he's dead. Your way out is a little bit harder. Gust comes in. Nice use of that E-Blade to help get the Rubik out, or at least try to. The Skywrath Mage goes down. Oh! Looking for the Malefice, but now Rubik. Oh, the Gust! Oh, the blink! The escape! Nice job. No fear in the eyes of the Rubik, and taking the full set out over top. Morphling at level 25, +3 multi-shot adaptive strike. That's disgusting.
Sisters 3 once more.
Drow gets the 50% cooldown reduction. It's actually really good. And there's the Daedalus for the Medusa. Next up is the Divine Rapier. And E-Blade waveform. Shadow Shaman with 30 health TPs out. It's 3,000 net worth lead for the Radiant. And taking some damage to these illusions is the Skywrath Mage, who's going for an axe. Be nice for him to have, but is he getting gold? No, not until level 25, which would be nice. Or will be nice, really. Game stays like this, he should be able to get it.
Double damage.
Doctoring Core picked up for the Enigma. Scotty's going to be next here for the Morphling. His BKB is still 10 seconds.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
TPing back. Trying to get the Underlord. Again, has Black Hole, but having to be careful is the techies. You don't use Black Hole now as the Eul's comes out, but the Dark Rift's just out. They don't have the damage at the moment to kill him. Has so much armor. 44 armor. His health regen's crazy. He's got Blade Mail. This Underlord really doing a lot. You could probably let him try to push through this mid lane. Got a gem on the Ember. You're going to want to keep him close as he just walks by that mine. We'll try to push through mid one more time. Smoke comes out, immediately broken on the Underlord. And Stasis Trap. That'll get popped. Game Bolt, Rod of Atos, Stone Gaze through. Let's see what they can do with this as the damage through onto the Underlord again, focusing the most tanky hero. And the BKB with the Black Hole, that's going to land onto 3 of these heroes with the Blast Off on top of that. They'll take the Rubik as well as the Underlord afterwards. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains onto 4. Now the BKB's popped by the Drow. Will have the damage to take out this Ember. And looks over at the Morphling. 4 heroes gone on the Radiant. 4 for 4 and a full team wipe for the Dire. Just skirting away with that one. Triple kill for both the Morphling as well as the Medusa. 10,000 gold saved up for the Medusa. And has enough for that Divine Rapier. So, 39 to 40, 2,000 net worth lead here for the Dire. Only one alive for so long. All of a sudden become a quiet life.
New treasures.
And let's see, what's the decision? Overthinking whether or not to go for the Divine Rapier, I bet, and showing that he's got the damage. I'd like to see the BKB first if I'm the Medusa. And goes Moonshard, and then the Divine Rapier? Not actually holding out for now. You do want that buyback too, but the Moonshard will be eaten. And looking real good with 2 attacks per second, or 3 attacks per second. Did I do that math right? I think so. But 53 minutes in, this game nobody's had a huge lead yet. Medusa sitting 10,000 net worth in front of the Morphling, but we see how close these fights are by 9 heroes getting wiped in the last one. Underworld taking a lot of damage. You're going to want to throw the black hole before he Dark Rifts. Now it's not worth it. The Yules comes out from the Underworld, and he's just able to leave. With that Yules, it makes it very easy. Divine Rapier is purchased by the Medusa. Would want to go towards Roche and get the Aegis, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. The Aegis will be picked up here by the Morphling, which could be a difference maker in that fight if the Morphling had a second life to go after this Medusa. But the Medusa hitting for 607. So, I mean, that's quite a bit. Again, Techie's just trying to lay down some mines to survive here. Hex comes out. They've got the Shackle on top of that. Underlord taking a lot of damage and might even fall. BKB is going to be used, and there's the Manta. Black Hole comes in to lock up the Morphling. The first life's going to be used. Holds the Black Hole, but it's not going to stand out for the entire duration coming back from that Aegis. The Rubik goes down, as of the Morphling. So 3 heroes dead. One-shotting that Skywrath Mage. Oh, God. Yeah, one-shotting that Skywrath Mage. Getting blown up. That's ugly. And now you just march down mid.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Trying to go through back door.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Buyback from the Underworld. Techies comes through as he's mined his base. More than enough, it seems like. BKB's popped by the Drow. Searing Chains onto the Medusa, taking a lot of damage. You need to be careful. You're hitting into that blade mail. Tier 3 goes down. Searing Chains once again. Techies look for the blast off. Avoided thanks to the Yules. Easy. And the Remnant in. Drow's blown up. Now they look over the Medusa. Need to be careful. The damage is heavy. There's the blade mail once again. Medusa's going to be killed. That's it. Divine Rapier's on the deck. Oh, no, 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 no. That's bad. And it looks like they're actually going to leave it for the Morph, yeah. Oh, no. Ember picks it up. Looked like the Morph was going to take it. So now you've given up a Divine Rapier. You don't have enough gold for another one. And all of a sudden, it's 10,000 net worth lead for the Radiant, and the Ember is sitting top of the net worth, and the Medusa buys back. That's heavy-duty commitment right there. And actually might be the turn of this game. Again, I would have liked to see Morph pick that up, but he doesn't get it. Ember comes through. The Hex is on the Underlord. They're trying to get back on the Dire side. They'll send some illusions in. Now the Serpent Wards get dropped, so you can just leave from that. Sleight of Fist through, and Shadow Shaman in a lot of trouble. There's the Sleight of Fist once again to get the kill. The buyback immediate from the Shadow Shaman. And meanwhile, over bottom, Illusions as well as the Underlord are trying to kill off this bottom tier 3. Ember coming in, Sleight of Fist one more time. The Yules comes out. Hex is the Ember. Now he's silenced, in a little bit of trouble. The Mystic Flare comes out, but the Black Hole on top of him. That's going to be a big problem for the Ember. And we'll lose this Divine Rapier. That's going to be on the deck one more time. Underlord picks it up, but he's hexed. He's killed. There's the buyback, and the Divine Rapier back in the hands of the Medusa. He'll kill up the Skywrath Mage. Ember bought back, immediately dead. Ultra kill here for the Medusa. Force Staff forward, trying to find the Morphling one more time, but won't be able to do so. And again, a big change in net worth. Just bop, boop, bop. Again, really quickly.
I'll take that.
This is a back and forth game for sure.
Invisibility.
It gets tough once again with Medusa picking up the Divine Rapier and now going into the Satanic. Again, I really think the Morphling should have picked up that Divine Rapier. They had the Morphling up. Nobody was coming in. There's not like a hero could have come to take that Divine Rapier away from them.
Because they weren't confident in letting it just sit there for that long. But that's, you know, a common occurrence in just freaking out, being like, "Oh, Divine Rapier's right here
In front of me. I need it." Techie spotted. Now the Drow doing a lot of damage on the Morphling. BKB is going to be popped. And the Morphling will pop his BKB on top of that. Sentry Ward placed down. The Blink forward. Waveform on top. Unable to get the kill. Drow able to escape. Meanwhile, bottom, Dark Rift over. They're going to look for the Medusa. Puffing and puffing away with the Glimmer Cape. I don't know if they spotted the Medusa, but Medusa walks away. So we're at the hour mark. 6,000 net worth lead for the Dire. Back and forth too many times. Smoke out from the Radiant, the mine. Gets cleaned up. No pings on top of that, though.
Dire's bottom shrine is under attack.
Take at the bottom shrine, but again, they need to attempt to finish this game. It's rough. We've also got Techie mines in the base. Not as much as before, but he's got to get back to that. Got some remote mines near the tier 4s. Medusa still working with this Divine Rapier. Concussive shot. That'll slow the Medusa. Gets back towards the tier 4s. Some damage onto the Drow. Pushing the mid, pushing the bottom lane. And red mines are now going to be picked up for the Rubik, but immediately killed in 2-shot by the Medusa. You gotta find a way in onto the Medusa. It's tough. He doesn't have BKB, though. If you could pop the Lincolns and get the control, maybe he could kill the Medusa. But heroes like Rubik who get one shot. And again, they'll try to get the kill. The Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, that's out on the Medusa. They've got the Rotatitos on top of that. Blast off through onto the Ember, but now going into the backlines is the Morphling with the BKB, but there's the Black Hole. You knew he had the Black Hole. There's the Stone Gaze on top of it. Morphling dies. I don't know what you're doing going in that far. You know he's got the black hole, and now they've got the damage to clean up everybody else. Underlord TP's out, or Dark Rift's out, and there goes the Ember. So things getting really tough. It's hard to get into the base. It comes down to, again, where that Divine Rapier ended up. And unfortunately for the Radiant side, they just didn't pick it up on the Morphling. And I think that was a huge turn of events when they had the opportunity to finish the game. And they'll still Ether Shock, but two shot by the Medusa and looking to pick up the Aegis Cheese and Refresher Shard. Skyref would have loved to hit level 25. Start getting a lot more gold. Underlord trying to deter this take on the Roche. Searing Chains once again. That's through onto the Enigma. Shiva's hit, but Glimmer Cape comes out. That'll keep him alive. Coming over is the Drow. The Gust is through, and Ember without the Manta is just dead for 100.
Such as tomorrow.
And Medusa also gets the Morphling over at bottom. So they were by the Roche pit. And then they were down bottom. They get the kill. Okay. I don't think that's the call, but sure. The problem with this Mystic Flare is it has to land. It's not exactly doing a lot of damage if it's not landing. It's not doing any damage if it's not landing. So what's the value of more damage if you don't land the Mystic Flare? The 300 gold per minute is so much better. To ensure you always have buyback gold, get yourself that Ags you want, which is worth it. If you're then doing 1400 damage with the Mystic Flare in 2 areas. That's technically a full duration on singular heroes, 2800 damage. You know, baseline. So instead of that, you end up taking the 600 Mystic Flare damage, and now you're starved for cash.
That should help.
Down to 1 melee racks before megas, but megas aren't really a problem. 13,000 net worth lead Medusa with about 50,000 in net worth. Mystic Flare comes out, but there's the Yule, so it does no damage there. Plus 600, but, you know, it doesn't hit, so it doesn't matter. They'll pick up the Aegis. The Aegis is going to get lifted by the Drow. They'll also get the Refresher Shard and the Cheese. And just to the techies, Morphling is dead trying to get the melee racks. Meanwhile, Mystic Flare laid down again, but the BKB is popped, so 3 heroes dead. They get the kills here, and they just don't have an answer. Dark Rift attempt, the Ether Shock comes in, 4 heroes gone on the Radiant side. Nobody dead on the Dire. $4,000 net worth in favor of the Dire once again, but they are already up by so much. Black Hole comes in onto the Ember. He's dead. No buyback. Buybacks from the supports, but they'll steal Black Hole if they can land it. Might change the game, but again, just these crits coming in and getting the kill, and GG's going to be called. But they have buyback on the Underlord. They can make a play here. Rubik's able to find an entry point, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. It looks like the game is just over. Dire will finally take it. That's unnecessary.